Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. It's our Sunday meeting class on a non-Messianic conversation, 28th of October, 2023. Everybody that was associated with Prophets of Awakening know we had the kind of like a little Zerubabbel marathon. I called it the Zerubabbel weekend. We're closing it out today with the name of it is Who is Zerubabbel, and so what I'm gonna do is put the final touches on it and get some final information. That way, it'll be on video for people to watch and get an understanding of it. Because understanding who Zerubabbel is understanding who Jesus Christ is, JC. So very important. Okay, so you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. A lot of videos given, over 700. It's a lot of information within those videos, and they'll connect dots for you for anyone that's seeking the truth of the Holy Scripture. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. And anybody that wants to support the channel, you can check out our Cash App at the bottom of the screen. And I want to thank anybody that's supported this channel. I want to give you a thanks. So you won't think that I'm not grateful, because it's much needed. Okay. With that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, and the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts, pertaining to our laws and statutes and our judgments, and what consists of our culture. Okay, shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our non-Messianic conversation. We're gonna do a moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts and our Creator. A little prayer. Do a few current events. There's some needed information. Then we'll go into the topic. Okay. So this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance. Oh Lord, we come before Thee this hour, thanking You and praising You and honoring You, because of Your position both in heaven and upon the earth, a position in which the Creator Yahweh have given unto Thee. Oh Lord, we pray to Thee that You continue to let Your light shine down upon us in spirit and in truth. And we love You and we seek You daily, O Lord. There is none else besides Thee to redeem us. And we see You in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await Your deliverance. Peace be unto You. Okay. So, like I said, I just wanted to kind of give you a little couple of current events to try to keep everybody up to the rest of what's happening at this day and time. Okay.
To most people I know, the words Afro and Palestinian would seem unrelated. This includes Palestinians themselves, since most Palestinians in the world live in diaspora, which simply means that they live away from home. with the recent events that happened in Palestine. I came across a post that mentioned Afro-Palestinians forwarded to me by the mysterious Middle East, which talked about their existence. I immediately remembered the stories my folks would tell me while growing up. I would ask my parents a gazillion questions about life back home and the people there. I remember on several occasions them mentioning that there was a community of Palestinians that were black. According to my parents, they were original Palestinians who looked exactly like Africans. I decided to dig deeper to find out who they really are, since Africa is a completely different continent. So how did they arrive there, and what was their history? To my surprise, all the information I could find was based on stories older generations passed on verbally over the years, just like my parents passed on their experiences in stories they told me, and that there were no records of this particular race of people coming to the lands of Palestine. Not officially, that is. Now, before I continue, you have to understand that even though this is a thriving community in the heart of Palestine that is alive and kicking today, as a member of diaspora who lives outside of Palestine, it is not exactly
These are black Palestinians.
easy for me to simply hop on a plane and fly there and speak to these people directly about their community and culture because, well, you know the situation. Nor is it easy to readily identify Afro-Palestinians outside of Palestine because they are indistinguishable from other blacks and Afro-Arabs. So for now, the easiest thing for me to do is look into what others have written about them. The good news was that there were several Palestinian historians, including Arif al-Arif, who tried to put the pieces of the puzzle together based on actual historical events, in addition to the oral stories told by various Afro-Palestinian families. These family origins can be traced to locations as far as Nigeria, Chad, Mali, and Senegal, and their roots connected to Arab African tribes of Houssa, Salamat, Burgu, Zaghawa, Borno, Gambo, and Balala. I hope my pronunciation wasn't too off. I have this cool feeling now while writing this, where I'm imagining myself being Alex Haley, writing the book Roots, or the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think I'll have to put my ego on check first thing after uploading this video. Now back to the history part. We can summarize African immigration to Palestine into three major eras: the Umayyad Caliphate era, the Fatimid Caliphate era, and the last days of the Ottoman Empire during World War I. During the Umayyad Khilafah, for those of you who don't know, the Khilafah had control over lands from North Africa in the west to Central Asia in the east. This allowed a lot of trade and diplomatic relations to thrive. In addition, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish people from all around the region would visit the lands of Palestine for pilgrimage, where many of which decided to stay and live there due to the economical and political stability of the region at that time. I guess because it was a multinational area, it was normal for people in the cities of Palestine to see other people from all around the world and made them more tolerant to different races and faiths, as it was normal to see this, especially in a city like Jerusalem, whose Arabic name is Quds, meaning the Holy Land. The stories my parents told me make more sense now when I look at the map. They said that there was a large number of Afro-Palestinians who lived in cities called Ariha, otherwise known as Jericho in English, and Al-Ghor in today's Jordan, places located between Jerusalem and the Dead Sea of Jordan. This means that African settlers must have chosen these places to live in after visiting Al-Quds. That's my guess. The Fatimid Khilafah era was different. This Khilafah controlled the lands of Egypt and North Africa, and they were very well known for slave trade. According to historians, the port of Gaza City was a hub for slave trade due to its location by the Mediterranean Sea and its close proximity to Cairo, the Khilafah's capital. It makes sense to say And it is here where the racist term used up to a couple of decades ago in Arabic, which is abid, meaning slaves, came from. This was a term used to describe blacks. I remember hearing previous Palestinian generations call black neighborhoods Hard al-Abid. I will do a separate video in the near future about racism and prejudice in the Middle East, as I believe it functions in a completely different way from the West. There is a significant amount of Afro-Palestinian Bedouin tribes who live today in the desert south of Gaza. Their origins are believed to be the leftovers of slavery back in the Fatimid era. The most recent era that witnessed African visitors to Palestine was during the last days of the Ottoman Empire, during World War I, where Al-Arif spoke about in his book, The Detailed History of Jerusalem. He mentions that during this time, many Africans had visited Jerusalem for pilgrimage and were never able to go back home due to the new borders that Britain and France had established after winning the war against the Ottomans. Since they had nowhere else to go, they were forced to stay in Palestine and make it their new home. I think it's important to differentiate between the Afro-Palestinians and the Afro-Israelis, where the latter were over 14,000 African Jews from Ethiopia that were flown in the early 1990s by the Israeli Air Force to save them from captivity in Sudan. These Ethiopian Jews are today considered Israeli citizens, and there's a big conspiracy about them being treated as second-class citizens in Israel. And that's a whole different and complicated story altogether.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody heard anything, ever heard of Afro-Palestinian or Afro-Israel? Okay, yeah, so all that tells me is that when you go back and dig, and I want to every culture you go to, the original people was people of color. Okay, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So it's another situation happened. I'll play this and then we'll go. I'll open it up as a question. So they had a big meeting over in Israel, and the thing that came up was that Israel said they're having a major problem. The biggest problem they have as a country is the blacks in America. So we're going to see what some people had to say about it, and I'll open up as a question.
Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, one of the Israeli leaders said something that is shocking during a private convention that was held in the United States. Now, in the video, she's heard saying that the major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the T in the United States. Yes, you heard that right. But she goes on and says not to worry because they have young black leaders on the payroll. Let's check out this video.
Of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Varnai Shor. She's a former Israeli general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some blighters on the payroll.
The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young people in the United States.
This is indeed an interesting video that needs people's attention, especially the black community. What really is happening and what has the black young generation got to do with this or Israel, even though it is there between Israel and Palestine. Anyway, come with me as we check out how people reacted to this video in various number of stitches. Here are the stitches, and when I get back, we talk more about this issue. No shit. No shit. Thanks for saying the quiet part out loud. If Black Americans one day decided that we were just collectively done with the shit and we were going to rise up against our own oppressive government and the genocide going on in Palestine, it'd be over. It'd be over in like 3 to 5 business days, if you hear what I'm saying. Like, why do you think Black revolutionary leaders dropped like flies? And who do you think did it? So just to be, they thinks that we, the Black community, are the biggest threat to it. And they're right. Honestly, they probably just saw my TikTok account. Like, if we're being real, that's a joke. That's a joke. I'm not that conceited.
So, as you guys see, so now let me explain something for the people that's on the back that don't understand this code right here. So now, the reason why this lady can go on right now, letting the people know that the young black generation is the problem. It's because you gotta understand, the United States just tracked Iran right now. The United States just involved with this with China, Russia, the entire BRICS nation. The United States just get involved with them right now. I'm telling you, okay? So now, let me explain something a bit more for you guys to understand something. If you are so-called black, whatever you can call your name, do not get involved with this shit right here. Don't pay attention to this lady telling you guys, so-called black people are the problem. So, the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because they know that for fact. The real Israel is here in the United States. I'm telling you, do not get involved with the shit. We're not going to war, y'all. We're gonna bang banger. You gotta be smart. They want you to get involved. That's why they get us back then. We get involved, we get fucked up. Now we're gonna bang banger. We're not gonna go fight for nobody. Bang banger is to wear that shit in knowledge. Find that shit. Understand what's going on. Don't get involved for real, y'all. Alright, peace. Come on.
I'm sorry. What did we do to y'all? Black people literally just exist, and y'all find a problem with that. Because how can a community, a very small portion of the global population, be the main problem in Israel? Now, I'm no geographer, but I know for damn sure Israel is nowhere near North America. So please tell me how Palestine is not your major issue. Please tell me how religious persecution isn't your... How is young Black people your main problem? Why is that your main issue? Y'all just can't let us be. Just let us be.
All of the young generation of the Black community, Judah, I hope y'all listening. I hope y'all listening. Y'all out here doing all this stupid shit, being chaotic and killing your own people. And they are setting and getting ready to get y'all ass. You better pay attention. You better change the frequency. Start helping your own. Stop hurting your own. Because the beast is bigger than you. And the only way you can beat the beast is if y'all come together as one. Stop hurting each other. Stop hating on each other. Grow together and get ready. Because these motherfuckers are about to set up things to fucking take y'all out. Little by little. Change y'all frequency. Watch the rest of this so y'all can learn something. Stop being destructive to your own people. And watch and learn.
Well, so some of you that don't really get it, right? Just think, what does the younger Black generation in America have to do with the conflict in Israel right now? Why are we such a threat? No, really, think about it. Why would us, little old us, that haven't had a single hand in this war, conflict, any of this, not much to say either, why would we be a threat? Why are we a topic of conversation in her meeting? Is it because Kanye and Kyrie were right? Is it because a lot of us are waking up?
Okay, any comments on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. That's good, man. That's good because, you know, JC, it was a stumbling block for us. We already know that. But we are a stumbling block to them because It's our Redeemer. It's not us. He's
Right.
coming to get us, but our Redeemer is the stumbling block for them. That's why they call us out. They ain't gonna call our Redeemer out. They're calling us out because He's coming for us.
Right. We waking up.
Facts. We are waking up, and that's why we the threat. Our Redeemer done poured His Spirit out, and they know it better than we. They knew it, like you said. They're always 50 years ahead of us.
Exactly. Right. Anybody else? Yeah, like I said, it's some major going up, getting ready to happen because first of all, the way they jumped this wall, and then we see that every time they get in the jam, the first thing they do is they start conflicts in order to try to straighten it out. That's their way of straightening it out, bring chaos. When they see that they being reduced or they falling, the first thing they do is start chaos and war. Yeah. So that being said, if nobody else have any comments on that, nobody have any questions about anything else they want to bring up before we get started on this discussion? Okay, yeah. So like I said, this is I call it the Zerubabbel weekend. So I asked this question at the beginning of each one of these classes. Anybody can give me a description or tell me who Zerubabbel is, who they think Zerubabbel is, from what they've learned.
Zerubbabel's JC Slim.
Okay,
From what I learned, that's JC.
okay. So Zerubabbel is the actual Messiah instead of JC. Okay.
So they say. So they say they took all the characteristics from that
Right.
and put it there because, and that was smart to do because think about it. At all the churches we've been through, Baptist, Christian churches, all this, you never heard of Zerubbabel. It doesn't come out. You speak about David. We talking about all these other prophets of the New Testament and the Torah, but Zerubbabel was never around. They hid that
Exactly.
to bring JC out.
And that's a prime example of how they covered over our understanding of things because we over the last couple of days we hear in scriptures, but nobody never you never really noticed it. You read right over it and didn't understand the role that he played in our history. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
never went in depth about it. They never went
right,
that deep about it. They would talk about the bloodline of David, but won't tell you Zerubbabel was in that bloodline. But they'll
right,
tell you JC was in it.
exactly. Right, exactly. Matter of fact, while we here, while I'm thinking about it, I want to go there. So when you go to the New Testament and then you understand what it is, let's look at this. This right here is another one of those jokes. So I'm in Matthew. It's the first book of the New Testament. So in order for them to link JC to David lineage, they first thing they did was they started out with his lineage in Matthew. Let's look at it. Show you how crazy this is. So go to Matthew chapter 1, and you see it. It says, start out the book of generations of Jesus Christ, son of David. See, so right here, this is where it stuck me in there. This is where it started, right? So I'm gonna go into that in a minute, but let's see, they got him son of David, right? Son of Abraham. Okay. So then you get over here and you see in verse 9, and Uzi begot Jocham, and Jocham begot Ahaz. Everybody should know who Ahaz is, Isaiah chapter 7. And Ahaz begot Hezekiah. Everybody know who he is. Hezekiah begot Manasseh. Manasseh begot Amon. Amon begot Josiah. So we know who Josiah is. He was the last righteous king before Nebuchadnezzar came. So check this out. 11. Josiah begot Jeconiah. and his brethren about the time that they were carried away to Babylon. Then 12, and after that were brought after they were brought to Babylon. Jeconiah begot Sethur. I told you that, but none of this is in the scriptures. Jeconiah begot Sethur, and Sethur begot Zerubabbel. There he is. So he's in the David lineage right here. But notice when he's in there right around the time Daniel. That's who Daniel prophesied about. Then 13, and Zerubabbel begot Abid, Abid begot Elkin. And so if you rightly divide this, Zerubabbel, we studied, Zerubabbel the one came out. Him and Joshua the high priest. And they came out. We don't know, you don't see nowhere in the Old Testament the kings, the lineages of David's lineage after that. You don't see it. So you gotta look at all these names they have after Zerubabbel came. Then you get down to 16, Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, whom was born Jesus, or who is called Jesus Christ. So, like I was saying before, all this right here is Mark's Nick. When you tell me that she had immaculate conception, why would you list all these men? You list all these names that she immaculately conceived him. It don't make no sense. That's making the creator himself look crazy. You brought forth all these men. These ain't no regular men. You got men like David, Solomon, all these men, and Zerubbabel and Joshua, Abraham, and all them. But you get to Mary, you get to Joseph, and then the angel overshadowed Mary. So none of this DNA from their history is included in it. It's immaculate conception.
And that's true. So
that's a bust.
Yeah, and adultery. It's adultery because she was supposed to have been betrothed to this man.
Exactly.
So this angel done practice adultery. So we already know that our Redeemer is in control of one side of the angels, and then our other side has fallen. It's just like the Garden of Eden. You got one side, you got the other side. So if you bring adultery in there, we already know who we dealing with.
Exactly. Right. And then he continued to ask our forefathers all through our history. Every time he do something, he asked them, "Am I not righteous?" He continued to ask them that. So you got to ask yourself. He punished these 200 angels that came down and slept with women, and now he come back and the angel overshadowed Mary. So is he righteous? Hell no.
No, sir.
Right there. That's
no, sir.
Crazy.
Like you said, for you, just like your father, the devil, a liar, like your father, the devil.
Exactly. So how did we get here? You know what I'm saying? How did we get here? How did we get here as Hebrew Israelites? And we're looking at 90-some% of our people don't understand this. They're still tied up in the New Testament. They're still tied up with JC. And like I said, why they don't know this story about Zerubabbel and who he is. So in order to break that down, we're going to go back to I'll play a couple of videos. Serapis. Anybody know who Serapis is?
I do. They said he was Serapis.
Yeah,
they say Serapis, but Serapis. Yes, sir.
Okay. There's some. So when you go back to history to the third beast, the Greeks, when Alexander came on the scene, and Alexander, let's look at it right quick. So make sure you put this in historical where it's supposed to be at. So if we go to Daniel, Daniel. Let me get it. Daniel chapter 8, I think it is. Yeah, the vision of the ram and the he-goat. So Daniel had his vision of his ram and his he-goat, which is the ram is the Medes and Persians, and the he-goat is Greeks, third beast. So we're going to pick it up when the angel came to give him the interpretation. He said, now, as he was speaking with me, I was okay. He said, now, I'm in 18, Daniel 8 and 18. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. It's Gabriel and Daniel. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what is in the last end of indignation, for the time appointed the end shall be. So we know this is not the end of the world because we're still here. So this is the end of Israel as a nation, the Israelite world. He's going to bring to an end. So 20, the ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of the Medes and Persia. That's the second beast. And the rough goat is the king of Greece. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. So that's Alexander the Great. So this is where I'm bringing you to the actual timeline. So 22 says, now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his own power. And say, in the latter times of their kingdom, Greek kingdom, when the transgressors have come to a full, the king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. So what happened right here, Alexandra died. He ruled for 12 years and he died, but I'm gonna give you the actual story. So he had his generals. Alexander is Edomite. His daddy Philip was an Edomite, and his granddaddy was an Edomite. Zephno was who he was. He left Egypt and came to Greece, and Greece made him their king. So these Edomites is amongst these Greeks as a royal family ruling them. That's why they ended up in the Middle East, because of who Alexander was and who Philip and them was. So Alexander died, but what people don't know is he had these four generals under him. They Edomites. One of them They killed him. They came together and he got poisoned. The one named Bartholomew. Yeah, Bartholomew, which ended up taking over Egypt. They poisoned him. They known for that. These Edomites known. They called them trick type poisoners. The guy that they actually, the image of Jesus that you see on everybody's wall was him. This one of these Edomites that from the Pope. He poisoned. He was called a trick. He was a poisoner, like Cleopatra. She come from that family. They was known for poisoning people, killing them. So he poisoned Alexander and killed him. And then after they killed him, they split the Greek kingdom up into four. They split the Greek kingdom up into 4 parts. And Ptolemy, the one who was behind the assassination of Alexander, he got Egypt. So he went into Egypt, conquered Egypt, and when he got there, he saw the system. He saw this miraculous system that they had set up with and the gods they had and all that. So he after he conquered them, he demanded that they make him into a god, make a god for him out of his image, and they wouldn't do it. So he started destroying everything, destroying the temples and all that. So they finally agreed. So they made him a god, a first white god, Zerubabbel. And so when you get off a line, whenever you want to Google it now, whatever, but Google it, you're gonna see who Zerubabbel is. Exact image of Jesus. So you say, well, what's going on? So for a whole time during the Greek kingdom, all the way up to the time of Alexandria, they was worshiping this god Zerubabbel. Like, they did just like everything else. They hid this information from everybody. So when Constantine at the Council of Nicaea went to the Council of Nicaea, this is what he took. He took this image of this white god Zerubabbel to the Council of Nicaea, and that's how he became Jesus. Now that they got him, they didn't concocted all this stuff at the Council of Nicaea and made him the God. Now they have to find a way to put him in the Old Testament. And that's how Zerubabbel got denigrated. They changed the story around. This is one of the places they went to. with Daniel 9:25. And they're telling you that's Jesus, but it ain't. And another place they went to is chapter 18. Chapter 18, verse 1 and 2, when Abraham came out. These three men that came is three angels. And one of them is the Lord of hosts. But they tell you in Matthew and John that Abraham was glad the day when Abraham rejoiced the day that he met Jesus. And then go back to Genesis 18, that ain't Jesus. Then they went to Isaiah chapter 7, when it says, under us a son of a virgin, a virgin's gonna have a child. And we found out that that's Isaiah's son. It's not him. So they went back and it's called I can't think of the name of it. It'll come in a minute. But they use it's a process that the Egyptians had, just like with numerology and with all this mystical stuff. They know how to use this stuff. It's actually satanic. It came from these fallen angels, but they was able to superimpose him back in the Old Testament and put him in places and make it and tell you that was him. And so that's how, like I said, from Zerubabbel, after they made him the official god of Rome or the Roman Empire, and now they got to hold our records. They got our records because Israel then came to an end. The nation of Israel had been done away with by the time you get to Constantine. They got our records, and that's where the Septuagint coming in there. They took this. They took our records, and then they most of these Edomites is in Alexandria, Egypt, because Alexandria and those Ptolemy, the one built that. They the one built Alexandria, Egypt. It's a European city. So and that's where they had the library, all these Edomites there. That's where all these offshoot ass books coming from. They looking at our records and writing it, want to be like us, just like the Egyptians. When they went to Egypt, they wanted to be like the Egyptians. They start wearing dreads in their hair and all that. Well, when they was in Alexandria, Egypt, they looking at our records. They want to write books like our forefathers was. That's where all these bullshit books come from. So anyway, that's who the founding fathers are. When you start talking about the fathers of Christianity, they white men. All you gotta do is do your research. Polycarp and all them that's in the New Testament. Penny the Elder. They hoodwinking our records right there. So they went back and superimposed them, found places to put them in the scriptures there.
And that was that movie, Caesar's Messiah.
Right, exactly.
Yes, sir. If anybody want to see that documentary, Caesar's Messiah, his father's supposed to die, and then he want to become he want his father to become a god, and then he becomes the son of God.
Right, exactly. Well, the actual layout was there is when Caesarion was born, Julius Caesar, they had already made Julius Caesar a god. And then his mother was Cleopatra in Egypt. She was already a god. So when Caesarion was born, he was the son of God. That's the actual person that what they telling you is Jesus. That's the actual person that came. And
yes, sir.
And Augustus killed him. He didn't resurrect. Augustus killed him. But they came. That's why they at the Council of Nicaea, they came with this story, and then when they went back, they superimposed all that on and put him in history. But actually, he actually killed Caesarion, which is Julius Caesar's son by Cleopatra. He was the 18. He got 18 missing years. He was 12 years old. Cleopatra sent him. It was to Alexandria, Egypt. When Augustus came to Egypt to kill her and Mark Antony, she sent her son away to this other to a monastery up in the Himalaya mountains at 12 years old. So now he left the world he was in with all his royalty and a military might and command and all that. Now he's in a monastery He was raised by these monks for 18 years.
And it's
He would come
crazy,
back.
Mr. Leonard, for most of the people that's on the class and everything. Now,
Right.
we don't have a military. There's no military dealing with us. We have
Right.
no military, but yet they scared. They shaking in their boots.
Right.
We ain't got an army. We ain't got tanks. We don't have nothing. But you know the problem is us.
Exactly. And they got a friendly reminder because that's the same thing happened in Haiti. You know,
Yeah, Haiti beat the brakes off of them. They beat the brakes off of them.
And it was mental. They didn't really have no weaponry or nothing. It was mental. You know, when you trace it back, not all of them, but most of those Haitians are Levites.
And we seen that years ago. I think a year ago or 2 years ago when they was coming to Texas and they had the horses whooping them and all of this. But now we see everybody else can come through here. We are welcoming everybody else but the Levites.
Exactly. And then when you understand that you got two different nations that were split up after Solomon reign. You had the 10 tribes that was under Ephraim, under Ephraim, Joseph's son. Then you had the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. We the head. We the ones that got scattered over the whole earth. We still see right to today, a lot of those 10 tribes is still over in Africa. But Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the one got scattered over here to the Western Hemisphere.
And that's why that lady said what she said. And I like the way that woman was speaking. She spoke nothing but facts. They hate us, you know, because they know they go into war with everybody else, but it's gotta be us involved. Why us? We have nothing to do with it. We are the bottom of the ninth, but we got to keep coming up every time.
Exactly.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I was talking about Leah and Judah, but Leah is the mother of Judah and Levi. So I wanted to correct that.
Okay.
Not her handmaiden.
No, it was Leah for sure. Because Leah, yes, it was Leah for sure.
Yeah, Leah is. She had 6 sons, but we were talking about Judah. But Judah and Levi and the other sons came from Leah. So I wanted to, straighten that up, sir.
Yes, yeah, she had the first 4 sons.
Yep. Wasn't that the one Leah and Rebecca, right? Was it Leah and Rebecca?
Rachel.
Rachel, my bad. Leah and Rachel. He had to spend his time for one. He got tricked, not tricked, but I mean, it's customs not to give my younger daughter before I give my older daughter. So, and then that already debunk that we supposed to be with one. Never mind. I hear you. Yes, sir.
Right. So they had I mean, that's the reason they don't want us in those books, those other books, especially Joshua, Jubilees, and Enoch, because they tell you in Joshua that information that already, a message that already came to Isaac. I think, let me see, Isaac. Let me see. To Isaac concerning Jacob. She told her that they told him that Laman's wife had already had 2 daughters. So he already, that's why he went there. He had already got the information. They had already sent the information to Rebecca concerning those 2 kids, those 2 girls that Joseph married. Let me see. That Jacob married. Yeah. So he went there. He already had information on what that is, Leah and Rachel. Yeah. The same thing happened. It's nothing new under the sun. The same thing happened with Lamech, Ada, and Zillah. Yeah.
Esau and Jacob and the rest of them, all of them.
Right.
And the thing about the series you've been going on, Zerubabbel, we already, if
Right.
anybody haven't got the gist of it, which we should have, it's all JC. They took
Right.
that and they ran with it.
Exactly. Is that something? So I'm gonna play this right here on Serapis, because like I said, Ptolemy, one of those 4 generals that succeeded Alexander, he's the king of the south. When you go to Daniel chapter 12, we talk about king of the south, king of the north, but that's those 4 generals. That had nothing to do with today. But anyway, so it's just part of the story on Serapis.
Well, that had to do too with Copernicus Piso, the Piso family too.
Well, that goes back to the Caesars, that first group of Caesars that came. They the ones concocted the whole scenario, but Constantine put the seal on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Copernicus Piso. And that's how the Romans and them got where they at now. And then like you was talking about how he came back.
So
yeah. You finished?
Yes, sir.
when the Greeks took over, the Ptolemies didn't get the respect that the Nesubiti got. The Nesubiti was like a Netzer-like figure.
I'm so sorry.
The Ptolemy was the king, without his military, there wasn't nobody listening to him. And nobody came in the multitudes to listen to him, okay? So he didn't get the same type of respect. So he commissioned the priest in ancient Kemet to develop and make him godlike. And so what they did is they took Zeus, they took Asar and Haru, and they mixed it all together with a European face, and they created this new person called Serapis. And Serapis was like their new god. He was the head of the pantheon. And so the king now was under the guise and the rulership of Serapis. And so that became the prototype. Those followers became Coptics. So I want you to understand. So Coptic Christianity came out of this development of Serapis, a amalgamation of the Greek, Roman, and African emperors all mixed into one divinity. And Serapis then became the prototype later for Jesus. Okay, so now, when we're creating Serapis, remember they took existing things that already took. So Zeus, now you understand, they took Zeus was the head of the pantheon, right? But Zeus comes from Ethiopia and has to go back to Ethiopia and be charged every year. They have a big festival. Now that's kind of funny. A god from your nation has to go to another nation to be charged. Okay. Then they took Asar, because everybody, you couldn't get rid of Asar. Asar was the great black, the first king, like that. And then they took Haru, higher consciousness, this concept, and all pull it into this one angelic being. Okay. So now they create, and they make him in the image of the white Greeks. So that's the key. There is no image of a white god here like that until this. In Egypt, in Kemet. So now they got a white god who's on parallel with Haru and Asar. So now we convert these Negroes, if I use the expression, you took the Kemet and make them into Negroes. Negroes are not born, they are created. Like Angel Food Cake and Stephen Fletcher. Okay. So
that's how he came into existence. That's the image that right here that was taken to the Council of Nicaea. And they made him, he became Jesus. They had been worshiping him, but now that they got our records, and they made him the God, then they superimposed him into the New Testament. Then they took those books that David was writing over in the Library of Alexandria, and they took them books. That's how the New Testament, from the New Testament off of it. And when you look at it for what it is, you can see the God in the New Testament totally different from the God in the Old Testament.
And if they find out who they talking about, then you know your enemy. You got the Roman Catholic Church. I know people couldn't wait for the Pope to come so they can go see the Pope and all this other stuff. We see our enemies. You know, that's why he says, don't give your sons to their daughters. Don't give your daughters to their sons. And we watching it happen right now.
Right. Oh yeah. We at the end of that. It means that we didn't intermingle and triple intermingle, so we was all messed up. The only thing that's going on what we was, but he already prophesied that he was gonna pour his spirit out on us in the final days, and his spirit, you're gonna know, like you said, Markel, a scarred dog gonna holler. You throw hot water on him, he gonna holler. So it's the same thing with that. In the spirit, you're gonna know who it is as Israelites, because when the Most High Spirit get on them, they're gonna holler.
Yes, sir.
You know, they're gonna recognize the truth when it comes.
Yeah.
No matter what they,
Yes,
no matter what they caught up in, whatever they caught up in, but when the Most High pour His Spirit out on them, they're gonna get to moving and vibrating.
Hey, a hit dog gonna holler. All praise the Most High.
Yeah. Hit dog on right. So that's how that works. That's where we at now. He poured His Spirit out on us, and that's how. It's no reason for us to be, after all they done to our scriptures, all they done to our understanding, for us to be where we at today. It's all Lord of hosts. He already prophesied all that. It's like He said about resurrecting us. We saw in what we was reading the other day, our forefathers kept saying that he's the God of resurrection, Lord of hosts. He's the God that rejuvenates people. But see, they took all that out, and now they got it over there on JC. But the Lord of hosts was the one that was part of his characteristics, and he had already
and they
told them
think
all that. Yeah,
resurrection is one thing, but it's the truth. Resurrection, our foreparents is coming back, but
right.
resurrection also is what they would tell you in a Christian church, in these Baptist and Christian churches. Renew your mind. It's a resurrection. You're gonna
Right.
wake up. You're gonna see what it is. But see,
Exactly.
a lot of us wake up and we fall, what they would say, fall away side. What was that scripture in the New Testament? One can fall on this beans or something, trash, whatever
Great
it
falling away.
was. Yes,
Great
sir.
falling away. Yeah.
Yes. And we get that because they took everything from us. And people don't get that part of the game. You know, that's why, hey,
That's the lies.
and
Yeah, the lies. Like I said, when they tell you don't deal with Enoch, and then you don't. You know what I'm saying? And then tell you don't deal with Joshua, and if you in Revelations, if you found not dealing with this word right here, you're gonna be banished into hell forever. And so you believing in that, and you trusting in that, but then all that came out of his mind, and then the things that
it's the
came out of our
truth.
forefathers' mind, and that the Lord of hosts brought forth, we don't deal with. We think something wrong with it. We add
Because
back.
we stiff neck. We don't even
Right.
like to promote black owned businesses, more or less black owned Bibles. We can't even get with scriptures. We can't promote businesses with each other because we hate to see each other get it. So imagine how they hate to see each other get this knowledge.
Oh yeah, that's been sown in us. Oh yeah, you play this right here. Yeah.
Kings to commoners, merchants to slave, all enjoy happiness and from evil save. Whatever you seek, he has the charm. Be injured or hungry, Serapis will keep you from harm. Ptolemy I held Egypt during a period of great uncertainty, as his fellow Macedonians vied for territories within the empire Alexander the Great had left behind in 323 BC. Like his peers, Ptolemy sought a way to integrate himself, a powerful foreigner, within his domain and eventually establish himself as king. A religious society, He recognized religion was the path towards acceptance. In the old capital of Memphis, he paid respect to two major gods traditionally linked to the pharaoh, Osiris and the Apis-bull. While winning over his large Egyptian population, Greeks and Macedonians immigrated to Egypt, another, yet familiar, peoples to convince, not as pharaoh, but as Basileus, a Hellenic king like his peers. So Ptolemy took the combined form of the Apis-bull and Osiris, Osorapis, and Hellenized him. Fully human, scepter in hand and enthroned, Serapis was a god linked to the type of king the Greeks would recognize. This statue was placed in the Serapeion in his new Hellenic capital, Alexandria. Here, Ptolemy I claimed a unique divine patronage over the start of the Ptolemaic dynasty and protection over his new Hellenic inhabitants.
So this the God that's in Daniel 12, when he said that he came with a strange God nobody knew about and increased it with power and authority. It's right here.
And it's crazy.
In Greek,
okay. What's that?
I want to say that it's crazy because it's the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. There's no reason. The only way that they can do that is from donations. To make that man the king, make that situation, they can't build anything without the people.
Exactly, right.
Hey, support needed. Support needed. Let's get this popping. We on one accord. So they was on one accord too back then. So we need to be on one accord right now.
Like with the lie, they on one accord with a lie.
Yeah, and we got the truth and it's being seen. Test the spirit. I don't care how you test it. It might be a New Testament. Test the spirit, New Testament trash. If it came from that, fine. But once you put yourself in a situation, you're going to get it manifested because we have to test the spirits to know who we dealing with. And if you test the spirit and you find out that is righteousness, hey, you better support. Do what you got to do. And that's a fact because that's how what do you say? I can't remember what scripture that was, but we don't want the outsiders to build the temple. We doing it. So it takes all of us to build the temple, but the outsiders want to come in.
That's Nehemiah.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yep.
Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Prayers of favor to Serapis on Ptolemy I's behalf addressed him as king. This divine relationship was taken further by the foundation of an official royal cult, an introduction for his Greek subjects to the Egyptian view of a king being godlike or even a living god. Ptolemy II founded the Theodelphoi, the cult of himself and his sister as commemorated in this coin. A comparison to Serapis and the goddess Isis laid in his marriage to his sister Arsinoe II, an accepted move to appear more Egyptian.
Right, so like I said before, that's why when you do your research, you come to find out, and this another one of those things, when you get what I mean, how many of them you need to finally rip yourself away from the New Testament? You got everything.
Incest.
Everything JC wrote and read. So what about the Old Testament? Wouldn't everything the Creator said in Genesis when he was doing the creation? Why the hell ain't in red? So why is everything JC said in red? That's Horus, Osiris, Egyptians. Everything they said in the Egyptian Book of the Dead is written in red. That's why you guys, it's a duplicate. That JC is our scriptures and the Egyptian scriptures, Book of the Dead, all mixed together. Horus is the one that was born of a virgin. Hardest taught in the temple at 12 years old. Hardest one turned water into wine. That's where all that's coming from. They got a combination of our scriptures that mixed with that. That's why he blew up the way he did. And not only that, you had 16 gods just like him before he came. But they tell you he's the only one. He's the last one. It was 16 that came before him that did the same thing. Turned water into wine, born of immaculate conception. It's an old story. It's an old lie, old trick.
And the bad thing about that is, the funny thing about that is, nobody went before him. Who went before him to make this happen?
Okay.
Who he's giving homage to.
Right.
There's a homage to be given, right?
Exactly.
Or praise the Most High. So everybody taking their own counsel. Nothing but love. It's all me.
Exactly.
Me. No, it's not. The Most High woke you up in these last days.
Right.
You didn't wake up on your own, so how they gonna do this on their own? How they gonna do this? He says that you can't fight that army unless I go before them. Hey, go before them and check out and see. Oh, they were scared. We like ants amongst them. Straight pussy. But you don't know who you're dealing with as your redeemer, your creator, your redeemer.
Exactly.
From the dust of the ground, I created you from the dust of the ground, the dirt, and I breathed into your nostrils. Exodus. I was the one that was given as your hedge.
Ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
Right. So like I was saying, and so when you understand what happened, that as the council of Nicaea, when they finally got them a god, the European god they was looking for during the time of the Romans, they went back to find scriptures in the Old Testament to make it as if though he was always there. And Daniel 9:25 was one of the first places they went. I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Know therefore and understand that from going forth with the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem until the Messiah." Right here. But in Hebrew culture, we know the Messiah is a king. The king and the high priest is the ones that's anointed. So, but they got another definition for Messiah. So then it says, and the prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The wall shall be built again, and the streets. That's where the drama come in at. When you write a divide, all that, you can see it as all that can happen. It's back in these other books in Nehemiah. Nehemiah, the one came back and rebuilt the wall. And so if the wall was built back then, you got to go back and find the Messiah. The streets was rebuilt too. So where the Messiah is? When you come to find out, it's Zerubabbel. And like I said in the previous conversations that we had the last couple of days, all that's been already broken down. But I wanted to just come tonight and put a seal on and close it off. But yeah, this is what they did. They came to this scripture right here and told, just like I was saying, a lot of this stuff they just said it. You got thousands upon thousands of Hebrew Israelites bumping their heads together, and all these clowns did was just wrote something and said it. And there's no validity to it. Ain't no anointing on it. Nothing. They just wrote it.
And Mr. Leonard, I don't mean to cut you off, but when did Zerubabbel run from anything? Did he run from something? Because I've been in this class. He haven't ran from anything. No. Have he ran?
No.
But JC was a running back for New York Giants. Right. He was running.
Okay.
He ran every which way but loose, correct?
Yeah, ducking and dodging every way he can.
Bobbing and weaving.
Right.
There we go. I mean, he can come in on a donkey, but man, this boy was bobbing and weaving. He was shucking and jiving like we call coons to this day. Your Al Sharptons, your Martin Luther Kings, your Malcolm X's, all of them was cooning, and it was running.
Ain't there something? Go ahead.
Hey, JC ran if nobody ever known. He did run a bunch of times. And he was caught naked with a little kid too.
Right.
Am I not lying?
Right. Yeah, it's a Hellenistic is Hellenistic is homosexuality ingrained in their religion. So yeah. And but the people don't they don't see all that. They don't know all that. It's just like I said, the average person from the time you were born in this world till you get 18, you get brainwashed. That's the system. That's the beast system that Daniel's talking about.
And
We,
it's
we,
on point because we
we
have
only
to be brainwashed and we
right,
have to be able to see that rain, right? It has to
right,
rain down on you. You're going to be brainwashed for sure.
right,
But as soon as you get that rain, now we see who's getting the rain. Now, a lot of people wearing umbrellas.
right, exactly. It's like water on a duck.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
is that something? Okay. So, anybody got any questions or comments or anything they want to add to this before we close out?
I like to say shalom to everybody, Michelle, Gladys, and Sarge, and
Oh,
Cheryl, and Miss Leonard. Big up to you, brother. I just hit you up, and I
okay.
would like to say I donated, so everybody on here should be donating too. Real talk. We should be donating because you're getting the truth. There's no lies being told, and if any lies being told, I would like to hear it.
Okay. Ain't that something? Yeah, I said earlier, I appreciate everybody that do support because, like I said, I'm trying to build up this Shiloh. When you look at everything that's happening, you can't say you want to have somewhere to go. It's on you whether you want to come or not. It's on you. But it's being built up.
Like they said with JC, it ain't for everybody. So if you're
Right,
not putting yourself in a situation, it ain't for everybody. All praise the Most High. Big
right.
up, Mr. Leonard.
Okay. So anybody else have anything before we go? Any comments? Yeah, I want to say shalom to everybody too. So shalom, and I see everybody on Tuesday at for our advanced Bible study at 8 o'clock. Shalom, shalom, and another shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom,
everyone.
shalom, shalom.
All right.
Thank you for the class.
I'll give shalom.